The origami unicorn was created by Gaff and found at the exit of Deckard's apartment at the end of the film. There are still heated debates about the meaning of this paper figure, and I'm going to take part in them in this video. Let's remember why Gaff makes this origami at all. He, like Deckard, is a cold-blooded hunter, a Bladerunner whose profession involves the complete dehumanization of their target. Because of this, they both have obvious problems with empathy and expressing emotions. This doesn't mean that they don't experience them at all. They do, they just don't show them, because they are used to always suppressing them with booze or something else. Therefore, in those situations when Deckard has to portray emotions, he often fails. Art, on the contrary, is a natural way to express your feelings. Gaff creates his origami precisely for this purpose. The character Eddie almost was always leaving his little origami around everywhere. His comments on what he felt, and he left his visiting card. And there was this origami, which is the unicorn. Harrison Ford picks it up, looks at it. It's almost like a confirmation. His reaction, cause he nods, understands and agrees. When meeting Bryant, Deckard didn't want to return to work, but his dependent position and pressure from the authorities simply forced him to kill again.
No choice, huh?
No choice, pal.
Deckard's only motive for joining the hunt is fear. That's why Gaff's first origami is a chicken. Later, a second emotion is added to it, sexual arousal in relation to Rachel. Since this matchstick figure with a erection was created almost immediately after the hero met her, Deckard experienced no other feelings for her at this stage. Rachel was crushed by the test result and came to Deckard's apartment in a fit of despair. But he can't show empathy or ease her pain in any way, so he offers the only recipe for dealing with feelings known to a Bladerunner.
Want a drink? I'll get you a drink.
Fear and sexual desire are traditionally considered the most powerful unconscious bodily emotions, referring to our survival instinct. There's a reference to them in The Matrix, which was largely inspired by Blade Runner. In the scene where Morpheus tells Neo about the ways in which the system controls people, Neo moves in a completely unconscious way and automatically selects only two figures from the crowd, a woman in red and a cop, which symbolize sexual desire and fear of authority respectively. At the end of the film, Deckard stops being an egoist, largely due to the fact that Roy Batty pulls him out of the abyss in which he was. And if at first our hero literally raped Rachel and was driven by lust, then in the end he was ready to protect her, even at the cost of his own life, deciding to fight the system of which he has been a part all his life. By this moment, the hero was freed from the shackles of fear and became an uncontrollable creature for the system. His only weakness from now on is the girl he truly loves. This is the state of mind that unicorn symbolizes. Both Blade Runner screenwriters claim that the origami unicorn was Ridley Scott's idea, and Live Unicorn was never written by them, even in a dream. In the final version of the script, Deckard and Rachel were still supposed to find the origami unicorn and leave the city by car. The car speeding through the greenery was supposed to resemble the unicorn. According to producer Ivor Powell, there was even a thought to have the pair notice it running through the woods. The idea of the daydream came to Ridley much later, and the scene was only shot during post-production of the film. By that time, the director had already begun work on his next film, Legend. The running unicorn in the woods was shot as a test footage for it. The unicorn was cut from the theatrical version of the film, making it meaningless for most to find Deckard's paper origami unicorn. But this is a delusion, because let me remind you, the silver figure was originally intended by the script, but the dream is not. The unicorn is self-sufficient symbol, and it's not difficult to decode it, just open Wikipedia. It's a mythological creature that hunters consider elusive. It can only be tracked by exploiting its only weakness, a fondness for girls. The following quote from Leonardo da Vinci's diary, a major theorist on unicorns who believed in the creature's reality. The unicorn, through its intemperance and not knowing how to control itself, for the love it bears to fair maidens, forgets its ferocity and wildness, and laying aside all fear it will go up to a seated damsel and go to sleep in her lap, and thus the hunters take it. After he and Rachel leave the apartment, their lives will change forever. From this moment on, Deckard will experience a range of emotions that were previously unimaginable to him, as well as to most people in his environment. No more delving into the past over drinks. He will burn twice as bright, and flames will finally ignite in his eyes, and his owners, the authorities in the form of Bryant or Gaff, will lose all control over him. Deckard's lifespan is now limited, not because a timer was built into his body during creation, but because he and Rachel can be tracked down and retired at any moment. At the end of Bladerunner, Deckard finds himself where Roy Batty was at the beginning of the story. He's a self-aware slave pursued by society, next to a woman who is not indifferent to him. In the final scene of the film, Deckard is more human than human. He becomes a replicant, driven by love.